नमस्कार। आज हम YouTube पर कामयाबी के नुस्खों पर थोड़ी गहराई से बात करने वाले हैं। हमारे पास कई सारे लेख हैं, कुछ गाइड्स, वीडियो ट्रांसक्रिप्ट्स भी हैं। सब यही बताते हैं कि चैनल कैसे बढ़ाएं और दर्शकों को कैसे बांधे रखें, कमाई कैसे करें। तो हमारा मकसद है कि इन सब में से जो सबसे ज़रूरी बातें हैं वो निकालें और समझें कि YouTube पर आगे बढ़ने के लिए क्या सच में काम करता है। चलिए देखते हैं इसमें क्या है। तो सबसे पहला सवाल, इतनी भीड़ है, अपनी वीडियो पर लोगों की नजर कैसे जाए? एक अच्छा टाइटल, थंबनेल, ये कितना जरूरी है? सुना है कुछ खास शब्द डालने से क्लिक बढ़ जाते हैं, जैसे वो अल्टीमेट या शॉकिंग।
हाँ बिल्कुल, टाइटल और थंबनेल ही तो पहली चीज है जो कोई देखता है। टाइटल में सही कीवर्ड्स हों, थोड़ी उत्सुकता जगाए, वो अल्टीमेट, सीक्रेट जैसे शब्द, हाँ वो क्लिक्स बढ़ाने में मदद कर सकते हैं। आजकल तो AI टूल्स भी हैं, वो भी कई आइडिया दे देते हैं फटाफट।
अच्छा।
और टाइटल में साल लिखना, जैसे 2025, ये भी एक तरीका है कंटेंट को फ्रेश दिखाने का।
लेकिन सिर्फ टाइटल नहीं, थंबनेल भी उतना ही, शायद उससे भी ज्यादा जरूरी है। दोनों मिलकर वीडियो की कहानी बताते हैं पहली नजर में।
मतलब दोनों का कॉम्बिनेशन सही होना चाहिए।
और ये A/B टेस्टिंग, इसका जिक्र भी था कुछ जगह, ये क्या चीज है?
हाँ, A/B टेस्टिंग, इसका मतलब है आप एक ही वीडियो के लिए 2 अलग टाइटल या थंबनेल आजमाते हैं, फिर देखते हैं किस पर ज्यादा क्लिक्स आ रहे हैं। इसे क्लिक थ्रू रेट मतलब CTR सुधरता है।
CTR यानी कितने लोगों ने थंबनेल देखकर क्लिक किया?
बिल्कुल, कई बड़े क्रिएटर्स ये करते हैं। आमतौर पर अगर 4-5% CTR है तो उसे अच्छा माना जाता है। ये दिखाता है कि आपका टाइटल और थंबनेल काम कर रहे हैं।
ठीक है, तो मान लीजिए क्लिक मिल गया, दर्शक आ गए। अब सबसे बड़ी चुनौती तो उन्हें बनाए रखना है वीडियो पर। यहीं पर शायद वो YouTube का एल्गोरिदम आता है। सुना है ये काफी बदलता रहता है, पहले कुछ और देखता था, अब कुछ और।
हाँ, सही सुना है। एल्गोरिदम इवॉल्व होता रहा है। पहले शायद क्लिक्स पर ज्यादा फोकस था, फिर वॉच टाइम यानी कितनी देर वीडियो देखा गया वो जरूरी हो गया, और अब जैसा कि कई स्रोत बताते हैं, ये पर्सनलाइजेशन और एंगेजमेंट पर ज्यादा ध्यान दे रहा है।
एंगेजमेंट मतलब लाइक, कमेंट, शेयर?
हाँ, वही सब। लोग आपकी वीडियो से कितना जुड़ रहे हैं, क्या वो लाइक कर रहे हैं, कमेंट छोड़ रहे हैं, शेयर कर रहे हैं। एल्गोरिदम अब उन वीडियोस को ज्यादा पुश करता है जिनसे दर्शक ज्यादा इंटरैक्ट करते हैं, ज्यादा देर तक जुड़े रहते हैं।
तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि वीडियो कितना लंबा है, शायद उससे ज्यादा जरूरी ये है कि वो शुरू से ही कितना दिलचस्प है। शुरू के कुछ सेकंड्स।
एकदम सही पॉइंट। वो शुरू के कुछ सेकंड्स बहुत क्रिटिकल होते हैं। आपको तुरंत दर्शक को बताना होता है कि वीडियो किस बारे में है और उनके लिए इसमें क्या खास है, तभी वो रुकेंगे। और YouTube एनालिटिक्स में एक ऑडियंस रिटेंशन चार्ट होता है। वो दिखाता है कि लोग कहां पर वीडियो देखना बंद कर रहे हैं। ये जानकारी कंटेंट को बेहतर बनाने के लिए मतलब सोने की खान है। आप देख सकते हैं कि कहां लोग बोर हो रहे हैं।
अच्छा, और दर्शकों से जुड़ने के और क्या तरीके हैं, जैसे कमेंट्स में बातचीत करना?
हाँ, कमेंट सेक्शन बहुत जरूरी है। सिर्फ जवाब देने के बजाय आप खुले सवाल पूछ सकते हैं, इससे बातचीत आगे बढ़ती है।
और ये जो नियमित वीडियो डालने की बात होती है एक शेड्यूल पर, ये कितना जरूरी है?
काफी जरूरी है। एक तय शेड्यूल होने से दर्शकों को पता रहता है कि आपका नया कंटेंट कब आने वाला है, वो इंतजार करते हैं। और हाँ, आजकल YouTube शॉर्ट्स को बिल्कुल नजरअंदाज नहीं कर सकते।
हाँ, वो तो बहुत चल रहा है,
जबरदस्त चल रहे हैं। कम समय में बहुत लोगों तक पहुंचने का एक बढ़िया तरीका है। रोज के अरबों व्यूज आ रहे हैं उन पर।
ये सब तो ठीक है, चैनल बढ़ रहा है, लोग जुड़ रहे हैं, दर्शक भी रुक रहे हैं, पर फिर पैसा, कमाई कैसे होती है? सबसे आम तरीका तो शायद वो विज्ञापनों वाला है, YPP।
हाँ, YouTube पार्टनर प्रोग्राम यानी YPP सबसे कॉमन तरीका है। उसके लिए कुछ शर्तें पूरी करनी होती हैं। कम से कम 1000 सब्सक्राइबर और पिछले 12 महीनों में 4000 घंटे का वॉच टाइम, या फिर पिछले 90 दिनों में 10 मिलियन यानी 1 करोड़ शॉर्ट्स व्यूज।
अच्छा, ये शर्तें हैं?
हाँ, ये पूरी होने पर आप अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। मंजूरी मिलने पर आपके वीडियो पर विज्ञापन दिखते हैं और उस विज्ञापन की कमाई का करीब 55% हिस्सा आपको यानी क्रिएटर को मिलता है।
55%, ठीक है। लेकिन क्या सिर्फ विज्ञापनों पर ही निर्भर रहना पड़ता है या और भी तरीके हैं कमाने के?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। विज्ञापन तो बस एक शुरुआत है, और भी कई रास्ते हैं, जैसे एफिलिएट मार्केटिंग। आप किसी प्रोडक्ट का लिंक शेयर करते हैं, कोई उसे खरीदता है तो आपको कमीशन मिलता है। फिर ब्रांड डील्स या स्पॉन्सरशिप है। ब्रांड आपको अपने प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस को प्रमोट करने के लिए पैसे देते हैं। और दर्शक भी सीधे सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। चैनल मेंबरशिप होती है जहां फैंस महीने के कुछ पैसे देकर खास कंटेंट या फायदे पाते हैं।
हाँ, वो बैज वगैरह दिखता है नाम के आगे।
बिल्कुल। और लाइव चैट में सुपर चैट, सुपर स्टिकर्स या कमेंट्स में सुपर थैंक्स, इनसे भी दर्शक पैसे भेज सकते हैं।
अच्छा, मतलब कई तरीके हैं। हाँ। और कुछ स्रोतों में अपने खुद के प्रोडक्ट्स बेचने का भी जिक्र था, मर्चेंडाइज वगैरह।
हाँ, वो भी एक बड़ा जरिया है। कई क्रिएटर्स अपनी मर्चेंडाइज बेचते हैं, टी शर्ट, मग वगैरह, या फिर डिजिटल प्रोडक्ट्स जैसे ई बुक्स, ऑनलाइन कोर्स। अगर आपकी किसी चीज में एक्सपर्टीज है तो आप कोचिंग या कंसल्टिंग सर्विसेज भी दे सकते हैं अपने चैनल के जरिए। एक दिलचस्प बात यह भी है कि कुछ खास टॉपिक्स जैसे ऑनलाइन पैसे कैसे कमाएं या पर्सनल फाइनेंस, इन पर बने वीडियो पर आरपीएम यानी प्रति 1000 व्यूज पर कमाई अक्सर ज्यादा होती है।
ऐसा क्यों?
क्योंकि इन टॉपिक्स से जुड़े विज्ञापनदाता ज्यादा पैसे खर्च करने को तैयार रहते हैं। और ध्यान देने वाली बात यह है कि कमाई शुरू करने के लिए हमेशा वाईपीपी में होना जरूरी नहीं है। एफिलिएट मार्केटिंग या मर्चेंडाइज जैसे तरीके आप कम सब्सक्राइबर्स के साथ भी शुरू कर सकते हैं।
तो अगर हम इन सभी स्रोतों को देखें तो निचोड़ यही निकलता है कि YouTube पर कामयाब होने के लिए एक मल्टी डायमेंशनल अप्रोच चाहिए। मतलब एक तरफ तो ध्यान खींचने वाले टाइटल और थंबनेल, फिर ऐसा कंटेंट जो दर्शकों को शुरू से अंत तक बांधे रखे, एल्गोरिथम को समझना, नियमित रहना और कमाई के लिए सिर्फ एक नहीं बल्कि कई अलग अलग तरीकों पर ध्यान देना।
बिल्कुल सही कहा। एक पूरा इकोसिस्टम बनाना पड़ता है। और अंत में एक सोचने वाली बात, आजकल एआई बहुत मदद कर रहा है कंटेंट बनाने में, टाइटल, स्क्रिप्ट, यहाँ तक कि थंबनेल भी। ऐसे में सवाल उठता है कि YouTube जैसे प्लेटफॉर्म पर मौलिकता या ओरिजिनलिटी का क्या मतलब रह जाएगा। क्रिएटर की अपनी आवाज, उसकी पहचान, वो कितनी जरूरी रहेगी, खासकर जब कमाई की नीतियां अक्सर असली मौलिक कंटेंट पर जोर देती हैं।
ये वाकई एक सोचने वाला सवाल है कि एआई के आने से ये चीजें कैसे बदलेंगी।
हाँ, इस पर विचार करने के लिए छोड़ते हैं।
ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ। ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ YouTube ਤੇ ਕਾਮਯਾਬੀ ਦੀ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅੱਛਾ ਪੈਸੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਣਾਈਏ ਤੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਵਧਾਈਏ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਨਾ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੇਖ ਨੇ, ਕੁਝ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਰਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਲਾਹ ਵੀ।
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ।
ਤੇ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਰਹੇਗੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਰੀ ਕੰਮ ਦੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਸੌਖੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਈਏ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਤੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਆਮ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਤੋਂ, YouTube ਪਾਰਟਨਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਯਾਨੀ YPP।
ਅੱਛਾ, YPP
ਇਸ ਲਈ ਨਾ ਘੱਟੋ-ਘੱਟ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਨੇ 1000 ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬਰਸ ਤੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ 12 ਮਹੀਨਿਆਂ 'ਚ 4000 ਘੰਟੇ ਵਾਚ ਟਾਈਮ।
4000 ਘੰਟੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਨੇ।
ਹਾਂ, ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਾਰਟਸ ਬਣਾਉਨੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ 90 ਦਿਨਾਂ 'ਚ 10 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਵਿਊਜ਼ ਵੀ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ।
ਓ, ਸ਼ਾਰਟਸ ਲਈ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਹੈ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਐਡਸੈਂਸ ਖਾਤਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਤੇ YouTube ਦੀਆਂ ਨੀਤੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੰਨਣੀਆਂ ਹੀ ਪੈਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ।
ਅੱਛਾ, ਤੇ ਇਸ YPP ਨਾਲ ਪੈਸਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਹੈ? ਮਤਲਬ ਸਿਰਫ ਐਡਸ ਤੋਂ?
ਨਹੀਂ, ਐਡਸ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਵਾਚ ਕੇਜ ਤੇ, ਸ਼ਾਰਟਸ ਫੀਡ ਤੇ, ਪਰ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨੇ। ਜਿਵੇਂ YouTube ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਮ ਵਾਲੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ।
ਅੱਛਾ।
ਫਿਰ ਚੈਨਲ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ਼ਿਪਸ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਲੋਕ ਪੈਸੇ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਖਾਸ ਫਾਇਦੇ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਬੈਜਸ, ਐਕਸਕਲੂਸਿਵ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ ਵਗੈਰਾ।
ਹਾਂ, ਵੇਖਿਆ ਮੈਂ।
ਨਾਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਪਿੰਗ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਵੇਚੋ ਜਾਂ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਦਾ। ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਸੁਪਰ ਚੈਟ, ਸੁਪਰ ਸਟਿਕਰ, ਸੁਪਰ ਥੈਂਕਸ ਵੀ ਨੇ।
ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲਾਈਵ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਪਰ YouTube ਆਪਣਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ। ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਿਓ, ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਮ ਤੋਂ 45% ਤੇ ਸੁਪਰਸ ਤੋਂ 30%।
ਪਰ ਆ ਸ਼ਾਰਟਸ ਵਾਲੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਘੱਟ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ। ਮਤਲਬ $0.03 ਤੋਂ $0.10 ਪ੍ਰਤੀ 1000 ਵਿਊਜ਼। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਫਰਕ ਕਿਉਂ?
ਹਾਂ, ਫਰਕ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹਦਾ ਮਾਡਲ ਥੋੜਾ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਤੇ ਅਜੇ ਨਵਾਂ ਵੀ ਹੈ। ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਐਡਵਰਟਾਈਜ਼ਰਸ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਖਰਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ।
ਸਮਝ ਗਿਆ। ਅੱਛਾ, ਪਰ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ YPP 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਫਿਰ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ
ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਕਈ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨੇ। ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਐਫੀਲੀਏਟ ਮਾਰਕੀਟਿੰਗ।
ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ?
ਮਤਲਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਲਿੰਕ ਪਾ ਦਿਓ ਡਿਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਸ਼ਨ 'ਚ, ਕੋਈ ਖਰੀਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਸੇਲ, ਏਵਨ ਵਰਗੇ ਨੈਟਵਰਕ ਨੇ।
ਅੱਛਾ।
ਫਿਰ ਸਪਾਂਸਰਸ਼ਿਪਸ, ਬ੍ਰਾਂਡ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਪੈਸੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ। ਛੋਟੇ ਚੈਨਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ।
ਹਾਂ, ਕਿੰਨੇ ਕੁ ਪੈਸੇ?
ਆਮ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ 10 ਤੋਂ $50 CPM, ਮਤਲਬ 1000 ਵਿਊਜ਼ ਪਿੱਛੇ। ਪਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਾ ਇਮਾਨਦਾਰ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ।
ਸਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ।
ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾ ਉਹ ਪੇਟਰੀਅਨ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ਼ਿਪਸ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਮਰਚੈਂਡਾਈਜ਼ ਵੇਚਣਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਟੀ ਸਪ੍ਰਿੰਗ ਤੇ ਟੀ-ਸ਼ਰਟਾਂ ਵਗੈਰਾ।
ਵਾਹ, ਮਤਲਬ YPP ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਝ ਹੈ। ਕੁਝ ਚੈਨਲਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਚੰਗੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣਾਏ ਨੇ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਟੈਕ ਸੇਲਸ ਵਿਦ ਐਰਿਕ 120K ਸਾਲ ਦੇ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਖਾਸ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ 'ਚ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪੈਸਾ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਪੈਸੇ ਕਮਾਉਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਫਾਈਨਾਂਸ। ਇਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਕਿਉਂ?
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਨਾ ਐਡਵਰਟਾਈਜ਼ਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪੈਸਾ ਲਾਉਣ ਨੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਖਰੀਦਣ ਜਾਂ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਮੂਡ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਅਕਸਰ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਪੈਸਾ ਤਾਂ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਪਰ ਉਸ ਲਈ ਆਡੀਅנס ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ। ਚੈਨਲ ਵਧਾਣਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ? ਉਹ ਮਾਈਂਡਸੈਟ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੀ।
ਹਾਂ, ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ, ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੀਰੀਅਸ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੋ, ਸਿਰਫ ਸ਼ੌਂਕ ਨਾ ਸਮਝੋ। ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਉਹ ਚੁਣੋ ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਜਨੂਨ ਹੋਵੇ, ਜਿਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਲੰਬਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਬੋਲ ਸਕੋ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਤੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ, ਆਪਣੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝੋ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪਸੰਦ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ।
ਤੇ ਉਹ 4000 ਘੰਟੇ ਵਾਚ ਟਾਈਮ ਵਾਲਾ ਪਹਾੜ, ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਚੜਨਾ ਹੈ?
ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਪਹਿਲੇ 3-5 ਸੈਕਿੰਡ ਬਹੁਤ ਖਿਚਵਾਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ।
ਹੁੱਕ।
ਹਾਂ, ਹੁੱਕ, ਲੋਕ ਟਿਕੇ ਰਹਿਣ। ਨਾਲੇ ਐਨਾਲਿਟਿਕਸ 'ਚ ਦੇਖੋ ਉਹ ਆਡੀਅנס ਰਿਟੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਗ੍ਰਾਫ, ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਲੋਕ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਛੱਡ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ।
ਅੱਛਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ।
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ, ਲੰਮੀਆਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਵੀ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ, ਪਰ ਜੇ ਦਿਲਚਸਪ ਹੋਣ, ਇੰਗੇਜਮੈਂਟ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ।
ਇੰਗੇਜਮੈਂਟ ਯਾਨੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਜੁੜਨਾ।
ਹਾਂ।
ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਵਧਾਈਏ?
ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਵੀਡੀਓ 'ਚ, ਕਮੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿਓ, ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੋ। ਤੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕੰਸਿਸਟੈਂਸੀ, ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ੈਡਿਊਲ ਬਣਾਓ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੇ ਚੱਲੋ।
ਮੰਨ ਲਿਆ ਜੀ, ਕੰਟੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਵਧੀਆ, ਕੰਸਿਸਟੈਂਟ ਵੀ, ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ? ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਆਪਟੀਮਾਈਜ਼ੇਸ਼ਨ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਆਪਟੀਮਾਈਜ਼ੇਸ਼ਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ YouTube ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਕਿਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਣੀ ਆ।
ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰੀਏ ਆਪਟੀਮਾਈਜ਼? ਟਾਈਟਲ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰੀਏ।
ਹਾਂ, ਟਾਈਟਲ ਛੋਟਾ ਰੱਖੋ, 60 ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ, ਸਾਫ਼ ਤੇ ਸਪਸ਼ਟ। ਕੋਈ ਨੰਬਰ ਪਾ ਦਿਓ ਜਾਂ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛ ਲਓ। ਕੀਵਰਡਸ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਾਓ।
ਕਲਿਕਬੇਟ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਣਾ।
ਹਾਂ, ਗੁੰਮਰਾਹ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਕਲਿਕਬੇਟ ਤੋਂ ਬਚੋ, ਪਰ ਕਿਉਰਿਓਸਿਟੀ ਪੈਦਾ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਸੱਚਾਈ ਨਾਲ। AB ਟੈਸਟਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਟਾਈਟਲਸ ਲਈ।
ਤੇ ਥੰਬਨੇਲ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਟਾਈਟਲ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਹੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ।
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ, ਦੋਵੇਂ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ CTR ਯਾਨੀ ਕਲਿਕ ਥਰੂ ਰੇਟ ਵਧਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਥੰਬਨੇਲ 'ਚ ਵਧੀਆ ਤਸਵੀਰ, ਮੋٹے ਅੱਖਰ, ਚਿਹਰੇ, ਭਾਵਨਾਵਾਂ।
ਰੰਗਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਹੈ।
ਹਾਂ, ਰੰਗ ਤੇ ਕੰਟਰਾਸਟ। ਤੇ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੋ ਸਾਰੇ ਥੰਬਨੇਲ ਇੱਕੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਸਟਾਈਲ ਦੇ ਹੋਣ, ਇੱਕ ਪਹਿਚਾਨ ਬਣੇ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਅੱਗੇ ਹੈ YouTube SEO। ਇਹ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ?
SEO ਮਤਲਬ ਸਰਚ ਇੰਜਨ ਆਪਟੀਮਾਈਜ਼ੇਸ਼ਨ। ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕੀਵਰਡ ਰਿਸਰਚ, ਜੋ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ।
ਪਹਿਲਾਂ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਦੇਖੋ ਲੋਕ ਕੀ ਲੱਭ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਟਿਊਬ ਬੜੀ ਵਰਗੇ ਟੂਲਸ ਮਦਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਫਿਰ ਡਿਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਸ਼ਨ 'ਚ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਲਾਈਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਕੀਵਰਡ ਪਾਓ, ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬਾਰੇ ਲਿਖੋ, ਲਿੰਕ ਦਿਓ, ਟਾਈਮ ਸਟੈਂਪਸ ਪਾਓ।
ਟੈਗਸ ਤੇ ਹੈਸ਼ਟੈਗਸ ਵੀ?
ਹਾਂ, ਕੋਈ 8-12 ਰੈਲੇਵੈਂਟ ਟੈਗਸ ਪਾਓ ਤੇ 2-3 ਰੈਲੇਵੈਂਟ ਹੈਸ਼ਟੈਗਸ ਵੇਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਸ਼ਟੈਗ ਨਾਲ। ਇਤੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਫਾਈਲ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਵੀ ਅਪਲੋਡ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੀਵਰਡ ਵਾਲਾ ਰੱਖੋ।
ਵਾਹ, ਕਾਫੀ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਐਨਾਲਿਟਿਕਸ ਜਿਹੜਾ YouTube ਸਟੂਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ?
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੋ ਤੇ ਸਮਝੋ। CTR, ਵਾਚ ਟਾਈਮ, ਆਡੀਅנס ਰਿਟੈਂਸ਼ਨ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਕੌਣ ਨੇ, ਇਹ ਸਭ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਕੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਫਿਰ ਅਗਲੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਹੋਰ ਵਧੀਆ ਬਣੇਗੀ।
ਅੱਛਾ।
ਤੇ ਆਖਰ 'ਚ ਉਹ ਐਲਗੋਰਿਦਮ ਜਿਸ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਡਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਹਵਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਬਸ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਲੋਕ ਕੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ ਦਿਓਗੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ ਰੱਖੋਗੇ, ਐਲਗੋਰਿਦਮ ਆਪੇ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਵੇਗਾ।
ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ। ਤਾਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ। YouTube ਤੋਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਕਮਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ, YPP ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ YPP ਤੋਂ ਵੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਨਾਲੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਵਧਾਉਣ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ, ਵਾਚ ਟਾਈਮ, ਇੰਗੇਜਮੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਟੀਮਾਈਜ਼ੇਸ਼ਨ, ਟਾਈਟਲ, ਥੰਬਨੇਲ, SEO। ਬਿਲਕੁਲ।
ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਵਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਛੱਡ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਕੀ ਕਾਮਯਾਬੀ ਸਿਰਫ ਲੱਖਾਂ ਵਿਊਜ਼ ਜਾਂ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬਰਸ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਚੈਨਲ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਚੰਗੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਬਣਾ ਲਵੇ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਵਧੀਆ ਦੇਵੇ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਲੰਬੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਲਈ ਸਫਲ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ।
ਸੋਚਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਵਧੀਆ ਨੁਕਤਾ। तो आज हम बात कर रहे हैं कि 2025 में YouTube पर कैसे छा जाएं, है ना? हमारे पास काफ़ी मवाद है, गाइड्स, रिपोर्ट्स और जो कामयाब लोग हैं उनके तजुर्बात भी। मकसद ये है कि उन सब का निचोड़ निकालें, वो ख़ास बातें जो वाकई काम करती हैं, ताकि आपका वक्त बचे।
जी बिल्कुल। देखें, आजकल सिर्फ वीडियो बना देना काफ़ी नहीं रहा। समझना ये है कि ये पूरा YouTube का सिस्टम चलता कैसे है, ख़ास तौर पर जब इतने सारे लोग वीडियोस बना रहे हैं। तो बात सिर्फ व्यूज़ लेने की नहीं है, बल्कि एक आप कह लें कि एक मुस्तहकम चैनल बनाने की है जो आगे भी बढ़े और कुछ आमदनी भी दे।
सही। तो शुरू कहाँ से करें? एक बात तो हमेशा सुनते हैं, कंटेंट इज किंग, मवाद बादशाह है, लेकिन आपके जराए कुछ और कह रहे हैं, नाजरीन पर फोकस।
जी, ये बहुत अहम नुक्ता है। मतलब एल्गोरिदम अब सिर्फ ये नहीं देखता कि वीडियो कैसी है, वो ये देखता है कि लोग वीडियो के साथ कर क्या रहे हैं, क्या देख रहे हैं, कितनी देर तक जुड़े रहते हैं, किस चीज़ पर ज़्यादा रद्द अमल देते हैं। इसीलिए तो वॉच टाइम और ऑडियंस रिटेंशन इतने अहम है। चीज़ पसंद आ रही है और एल्गोरिदम फिर उसी किस्म के मवाद को आगे बढ़ाता है जो लोगों को ज़्यादा देर तक रोके रखे। और एक और बात याद रखें, तकरीबन 70% लोग मोबाइल पर YouTube देखते हैं, तो आपके थंबनेल, आपकी वीडियो के विजुअल्स वो छोटी स्क्रीन पर भी अच्छे लगने चाहिए, वाज़ेह हों।
ये तो अहम बात है। अच्छा, तो नाजरीन को समझ लिया, उनके लिए मवाद बना लिया, अब लोग हमारी वीडियो तक पहुंचेंगे कैसे? यहाँ टाइटल और थंबनेल का किरदार आता है, ठीक?
जी, ये समझें कि आपकी वीडियो का दरवाजा है। टाइटल साफ हो, बहुत लंबा ना हो, 60 हरूफ तक कहते हैं, और उसमें वो कीवर्ड्स हों जो लोग सर्च करते हैं। कुछ रिपोर्ट्स में ये भी था कि अगर आप टाइटल में कुछ ऐसे अल्फाज डालें जो तजस्सुस पैदा करें, जैसे राज, हतमी, फौरन, तो क्लिक ज्यादा मिलते हैं, CTR बेहतर होता है।
अच्छा, वाकई? और थंबनेल?
थंबनेल तो बस पहली नजर है, साफ हो, हाई क्वालिटी, और अगर चेहरे इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं तो तासुरात वो अक्सर ज्यादा तवज्जो खींचते हैं। एक केस स्टडी में एक यूट्यूबर ने सिर्फ थंबनेल में ज्यादा जोश वाला चेहरा लगाकर CTR 15% बढ़ा लिया था।
15% सिर्फ तासुरात से? कमाल है, यानी छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं। अच्छा, वो AB टेस्टिंग का भी जिक्र था।
जी हाँ, AB टेस्टिंग मतलब आप एक ही वीडियो के लिए 2 मुख्तलिफ टाइटल या थंबनेल लगाकर देखें कि कौन सा ज्यादा चल रहा है। उससे आपको सीधा सीधा पता चल जाता है कि आपके नाजरीन को क्या चीज क्लिक करवा रही है। कुछ टूल्स हैं जैसे TubeBuddy या vidIQ, वो इसमें मदद करते हैं।
सही। अब आते हैं चैनल की मजमूई तरक्की पर। क्या रोजाना वीडियो डालना लाजमी है? बहुत से लोग ये सवाल पूछते हैं, या फिर क्वालिटी ज्यादा अहम है?
देखें, यहाँ सब जराए एक बात पर मुत्तफिक हैं कि मुस्तकिल रहना जरूरी है, कंसिस्टेंसी। लेकिन रोज वीडियो डालने के चक्कर में अगर क्वालिटी खराब हो रही है तो वो फायदे से ज्यादा नुकसानदेह है। एक रिपोर्ट में ये बात वाज़ेह थी कि जो चैनल हफ्ते में 1 या 2 बहुत अच्छी रिसर्च वाली वीडियोस डालते हैं, वो उन चैनल से ज्यादा कामयाब होते हैं जो रोजाना बस औसत सी वीडियो डाल रहे हैं।
तो क्वालिटी पहले?
जी, क्वालिटी पहले, और लोगों के कमेंट्स का जवाब देना, कम्युनिटी टैब इस्तेमाल करना, इससे भी एक ताल्लुक बनता है ना नाजरीन से, वो जुड़े रहते हैं।
और YouTube शॉर्ट्स, उनका क्या किरदार है आजकल?
शॉर्ट्स नए लोगों तक पहुंचने का एक बहुत बहुत पावरफुल तरीका है, और आप उनसे ट्रैफिक अपनी लंबी वीडियोस की तरफ भी भेज सकते हैं। लेकिन यहाँ एक टेक्निकल बात याद रखनी है, वो जो YouTube पार्टनर प्रोग्राम है ना, YPP, जिसे इश्तिहार के पैसे मिलते हैं,
जी जी,
उसके लिए जो 4000 घंटे वॉच टाइम चाहिए, उसमें शॉर्ट्स के व्यूज काउंट नहीं होते।
ओह, ये अहम है।
हाँ, अलबत्ता एक दूसरा रास्ता भी है। अब अगर पिछले 90 दिनों में आपके शॉर्ट्स पर 10 मिलियन व्यूज आ जाएं, तो भी आप YPP के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा, ये तो मुतबादिल मौजूद है। ठीक है, अब आते हैं सबसे अहम सवाल पर, पैसा कमाना। YPP की शराइत तो आपने बताई, 1000 सब्सक्राइबर और 4000 घंटे, या वो 10 मिलियन शॉर्ट्स व्यूज। लेकिन क्या सिर्फ इश्तिहारात काफी हैं?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। जराए बहुत वाज़ेह हैं इस पर कि 2025 में सिर्फ इश्तिहारात पर बैठना ये ठीक हिकमत अमली नहीं है। आपको अपनी आमदनी के जराए बढ़ाने होंगे, डाइवर्सिफाई करना होगा। जो कामयाब यूट्यूबर्स हैं ना, उन पर जो तहकीक हुई वो बताती है कि वो अपनी कमाई का एक बड़ा हिस्सा, कभी-कभी तो आधे से ज्यादा, दूसरे तरीकों से कमाते हैं।
मसलन?
जैसे ब्रांड्स के साथ काम करना, यानी स्पॉन्सरशिप, एफिलिएट मार्केटिंग, मतलब आप किसी और की चीज बेचने में मदद करें और कमीशन लें, अपना सामान बेचना, मर्चेंडाइज जिसे कहते हैं, फिर चैनल मेंबरशिप है, और वो जो सुपर चैट, सुपर स्टिकर्स, सुपर थैंक्स वाले फीचर्स हैं वो भी। तो अपने चैनल को एक बिजनेस की तरह सोचना होगा,
यानी सिर्फ एक जरिया आमदनी काफी नहीं।
जी नहीं। और ये भी है कि कुछ मौज़ूआत जैसे फाइनेंस है, टेक्नोलॉजी है, तालीम है, इनमें इश्तिहारात की कीमत यानी CPM वो अमूमन ज्यादा होती है।
जबरदस्त। तो खुलासा ये हुआ कि 2025 में कामयाबी के लिए अपने नाजरीन को समझें, डेटा इस्तेमाल करके टाइटल, थंबनेल बनाएं, क्वालिटी पर फोकस रखते हुए मुस्तकिल रहें, कम्युनिटी से जुड़ें और आमदनी के कई रास्ते बनाएं।
बिल्कुल। और एक आखिरी बात, जरा सोचने के लिए, ये सारे मैट्रिक्स, एल्गोरिदम, हिकमत अमली, इन सब से हटकर वो कौन सी एक खास इंसानी चीज है, कोई जज्बाती ताल्लुक जो एक तख्लीककार अपने देखने वालों को दे सकता है? क्या आप कोई ऐसी कहानी सुना रहे हैं, कोई ऐसा हुनर सिखा रहे हैं, या कोई ऐसी कम्युनिटी बना रहे हैं जिसे सिर्फ नंबरों में नहीं नापा जा सकता? शायद यही वो असल चीज है जो किसी चैनल को वक्ती ट्रेंड से आगे ले जाकर देर पा कामयाबी देती है।
Okay, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today into YouTube in 2025, specifically how creators are turning it into, well, a real business.
Yeah, we've looked at a bunch of sources, articles, guides, creator discussions too, trying to pull out what's actually working now.
Exactly. Consider this your shortcut. And the headline number is pretty staggering, right?
Oh yeah. YouTube's paid out over $70 billion to creators, partners, media companies, just in the last 3 years. Serious cash.
But like you said, the game's changed. It's not just about racking up views anymore, is it?
Not at all. The algorithm's smarter. It seems to focus way more on the viewer experience now, not just the video itself in isolation.
Right. So it's tracking things like how long people watch, what makes them click away, maybe what they rewatch.
Exactly. And even what they watch next is building a profile of viewer satisfaction.
So what does that actually mean for you, the creator? Well, step one is obviously getting people to click. But then step two is keeping them there. Engagement is key.
Totally. And that first click, it often comes down almost entirely to your title and thumbnail. That's your storefront window.
Yeah, the sources really hammer this home. They need to be, high res, clear, use good keywords, but the real key.
Emotion, curiosity. They have to make someone feel something or want to know the answer.
Using those power words or setting up a curiosity gap works wonders for clicks. But you have to deliver on the promise.
Oh, absolutely. Misleading clickbait kills your watch time. And the algorithm sees that. People bounce.
And it's interesting, creators getting really scientific about this now. A/B testing thumbnails.
It's becoming standard practice for many. You can use tools to show different thumbnails to different people and see which one performs better before rolling it out wide.
Smart. And looking at what works in your niche, seeing what top creators are doing.
Definitely. Plus, AI tools are actually really helpful here. Brainstorming, like dozens of title and thumbnail options based on your topic. Huge time saver.
Okay, so they've clicked. Now the really interesting part, keeping them watching.
This is where watch time and audience retention come in. They're like gold standard metrics for the algorithm.
Why? Because it tells YouTube, hey, I recommended this video and people are actually sticking around. Good job, me.
Exactly. So you absolutely have to be digging into your YouTube Studio analytics, those retention graphs. They tell a story.
You can literally see where people are losing interest, where they're dropping off, maybe the intro drags, or one section just isn't landing.
And crucially, where they rewatch. That tells you what's really connecting, what's valuable. The simple fix is, well, make better videos, more engaging content.
Obvious but true. But it's also about connecting the dots for the viewer, isn't it? Thinking about their journey.
Yes. How do you make it easy for someone who liked video A to find your related video B?
That's where things like end screens come in, or maybe pinning a comment with a link to another video or a playlist.
Playlists are huge for this. And structuring longer videos with chapters helps viewers find what they need too, which can boost overall session time.
Okay, so that's engagement. Let's talk money. Beyond the standard YouTube partner program ads.
Right, which, yeah, still has those thresholds, 1,000 subscribers and either 4,000 watch hours in a year or 10 million valid shorts views in 90 days, plus a manual review.
But creators are definitely not putting all their eggs in the ad basket anymore. Diversification seems critical.
Absolutely critical. We're seeing channel memberships taking off, offering exclusive stuff like badges, emojis, extra content for paying members.
Then there's super thanks, right? Like a one-off tip jar on a video.
Exactly. And selling your own stuff, merch, digital products. You can even use print on demand so you don't handle inventory.
Affiliate marketing too, recommending products you use and getting a cut if people buy through your link.
And of course, the big one for many, brand sponsorships.
Which ties back to audience trust, doesn't it? Sponsors aren't just buying eyeballs, they're buying the relationship you have with your viewers.
Precisely. So when you negotiate, you're showing them your audience data, the engagement, proving that your audience aligns with their brand and actually listens to you.
Makes sense. Some sources mention focusing on niches with high CPMs. That's the ad rate, right? Cost per mil, or 1,000 views.
Yeah, things like finance, tech, software often have higher CPMs because the audience is valuable to advertisers. But again, relying only on ads, even high CPM ads, is risky.
Diversify, diversify, diversify. Ads, memberships, maybe some affiliate links, sponsorships if they fit. Spread the risk.
And use the tools. We mentioned AI for titles, but it can help with keyword research, finding content gaps, even analyzing your performance data.
Just don't forget the basics though. I mean, awful audio quality, instant turnoff.
Oh, definitely. People tolerate shaky video way more than bad sound, and not checking your analytics. Flying blind, basically.
So wrapping this up, building a YouTube business in 2025 isn't just about hitting upload. It's way more strategic.
It really is. It's understanding your audience deeply, creating stuff that hooks them and keeps them watching, and then building out multiple ways to actually earn from that attention, using all the tools, AI included.
But staying authentic through it all. Which kind of leads to a final thought, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
In this landscape of algorithms and AI optimizing everything,
Yeah.
how do you as a creator really balance that drive for metrics, for attention, for the business side, with building a real, genuine connection with the humans on the other side of the screen?
That's the million-dollar question, maybe literally. Something definitely worth thinking about as you plan your own YouTube journey.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we're cutting straight into, well, the pretty dynamic world of being a YouTube creator right now in 2025. We've got a whole bunch of articles, some research, basically looking at everything from, how the algorithm actually works to how you turn those views into, well, income. So our mission for you in this deep dive, simple. We want to help you really grasp the key factors these sources are highlighting if you want to build a channel that actually thrives. We're talking getting found, keeping viewers watching, and figuring out different ways to make money beyond just ads.
And you're right, it changes so fast, the platform is always evolving. But these sources, they give us a really valuable snapshot, They capture the strategies, the current understanding of the algorithm, what's working now. So this deep dive, it's basically your shortcut to getting up to speed.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Where do you even start? The sources seem pretty clear.
Yeah.
It all begins with understanding the algorithm. And it's not like maybe how people used to think that YouTube is just randomly pushing videos out.
No, not really. It's much more about pulling content. The algorithm's job is to find the videos that you, the specific user, are most likely going to enjoy. It looks at your past behavior, what you've watched, topics, channels, even the time of day or the device you're using. It ranks recommendations constantly in real time.
So it's trying to predict what keeps me watching longest. Is that the core idea?
That's a huge part of it, yeah. And that leads right into the key metrics the sources keep bringing up. These are the numbers creators really need to watch in their analytics.
Okay, so what's top of that list?
Watch time and audience retention. These are fundamental. They tell YouTube your content is actually engaging people. The longer they watch, the more YouTube sees your video as, recommend worthy. And digging into the key moments for audience retention in your analytics, super insightful.
Right, that shows where people bail or what parts are really working.
Exactly, where they drop off, where they stay engaged, it's gold.
Okay, I remember seeing something about speeding up videos. If someone watches my 10-minute video at double speed, so in 5 minutes, does that hurt my watch time metric?
Good question. The sources clarify that. No, it doesn't hurt in that way. Analytics tracks the actual time spent watching. So if they watch for 5 minutes, even at 2x speed, you get credit for those 5 minutes of watch time.
Got it. So watch time is about keeping them there once they click. How do you get that click in the first place?
Right, that's where impressions and click-through rates CTR come in. Impressions are just how often your thumbnail gets shown to people. It's your visibility. CTR measures how good your thumbnail and title are at actually getting someone to click.
So impressions are the potential reach. CTR is how effective your hook is.
You got it. And because that CTR is so vital, the sources really push A/B testing. Try different titles, different thumbnails, see what works better. They mention a typical good CTR might be around 4 or 5%, but honestly, it varies a lot depending on the niche, how broadly YouTube is showing your video.
Okay, so they click, they're watching, hopefully for a while. What about other interactions? Likes, comments, shares?
Yeah, that all rolls up into what's called engagement rate. It looks at those interactions, likes, comments, shares, and watch time relative to how many impressions you've got. You can calculate it pretty simply. Interactions divided by impressions times 100. But it's not just the video itself. The sources also point out that your activity, like posting on the community tab, replying to comments, even driving traffic from outside YouTube,
Right.
that all sends positive engagement signals.
That makes sense. It shows you're like an active part of the community, not just dropping videos and leaving.
Right. And here's an interesting point about where views come from. The sources suggest, especially for growing channels, a lot of views often come from the YouTube homepage recommendations. It might even be more than from your actual subscribers clicking the sub feed.
Really? So the algorithm pushing you on the homepage is that powerful?
Hugely powerful for discovery. Now, don't get me wrong, views from subs and return visitors are super important for showing loyalty, which is key for things like brand deals. But for sheer reach, the homepage algorithm is massive.
Okay, so algorithm is key. Metrics tell the algorithm you're good. But creators need to, pay the bills. We know ads exist, but the sources talk about way more than just ads, right?
Oh, absolutely. Ads are often the first step, but yeah, the sources lay out a whole menu of options. The main entry point for a lot of these is the YouTube Partner Program, the YPP.
And remind us, what are the main requirements to get into the PP?
Okay, you need to follow all the policies, obviously. Be in an eligible country, no active community guideline strikes, have two-step verification on, access to advanced features, and link up an active AdSense account. That's the baseline. Then you need to meet one of two thresholds. Either 1,000 subscribers plus 4,000 valid public watch hours over the last 12 months.
The classic one.
Right. Or the newer option, 1,000 subscribers plus 10 million valid public shorts views in the last 90 days. Ah, okay. So shorts now provide a totally separate route into the YPP. That's a big deal.
It is. And once you're in YPP, you can turn on watch page ads for your regular videos, assuming they meet the advertiser-friendly guidelines, of course, and you can get a share of the revenue from ads shown in the shorts feed.
What about YouTube Premium subscribers, if they watch my stuff?
You get a cut of their subscription fee, too. It's another sort of passive income stream once you're in the program.
Huh.
Now, speaking of ad money, it's really worth understanding the difference between CPM and RPM, which the sources break down.
Yeah, those acronyms get thrown around a lot.
Right, so CPM cost per mil, that's what the advertiser pays YouTube for 1,000 ad impressions. But RPM revenue per mil, that's what you, the creator, actually earn per 1,000 video views. It's your share after YouTube takes its cut, and it accounts for things like viewers skipping ads or viewers who don't see ads at all.
So RPM is the number that actually hits your bank account, more or less. Exactly. And the sources give some really stark examples of how much RPM can vary by niche, like making money online might average around $13.52 RPM.
Wow.
Yeah. But then something like comedy and humor could be down around $1.
Whoa, that is a massive difference just based on the topic. So advertiser demand for that audience, basically.
Precisely. It shows how much the niche impacts your ad earning potential.
Okay, so beyond ads and premium revenue, what other ways can you earn directly through YouTube's features?
Fan funding is a big one. Channel memberships let your viewers pay a monthly fee. You set the price points and perks. They get exclusive stuff like badges, custom emojis, maybe members-only videos or live streams. The sources mention you can set up multiple tiers, often between maybe $4.99 down and $49.99, though technically the range is wider.
And YouTube takes a cut of that membership fee.
They do, yeah, typically around 30%.
Oh, 30% is quite a slice.
It is. Another fan funding thing is the one-time payments, super chat and super stickers during live streams.
Where the comment gets highlighted.
Exactly, and super thanks on regular videos, which does a similar thing for comments. Fans pay different amounts, and again, YouTube takes a significant cut, often that same 30% ballpark, maybe even more, according to some reports. Then there's stuff that helps you sell things. YouTube Shopping is interesting. It lets you tag your own products or products from other brands right in your videos, shorts, or streams.
So people can click and buy directly from the video?
Pretty much. You can link your own store or pick from tons of brands YouTube integrates with.
And what about traditional sponsorships? Working directly with brands?
Yeah, YouTube has its own platform for that called Brand Connect. It's meant to help creators and brands find each other for sponsored content deals, and it provides some measurement tools too.
Okay, and say I review tech gadgets, and I genuinely use and love a certain microphone. Can I earn from recommending that?
Absolutely. That's affiliate marketing. It's a really common and effective strategy, especially if you're authentic about it. You promote products, ideally ones you actually use, using special trackable links in your description or maybe an end card. If someone clicks your link and buys, you get a commission.
What kind of commission are we talking?
It varies hugely, but often somewhere between, say, 1% and maybe 5%, or even higher for some programs or products. It's great for those review channels, tutorials. Tech, beauty, fitness, gaming are classic examples.
But trust is key there, right?
Totally. Your audience needs to believe you actually like the product, sources say. Make dedicated review videos, compare products, show them in action, and always disclose that it's an affiliate link. Transparency is vital. And then, of course, there's selling your own merchandise. This is a path many established creators take. You get full control over the product, the pricing, the profit margins.
Like t-shirts, hats?
Yeah, branded apparel, accessories, maybe books, or even custom products really specific to your niche. For getting started, the sources suggest looking into print-on-demand services. So you don't have to buy 1,000 shirts up front.
Exactly. It's way lower risk. The service prints and ships only when someone orders.
We've covered a lot of ways to make money using YouTube's system, but I was really intrigued by the sources mentioning creators building something totally separate.
Yeah, that's the idea of building your own external platform, maybe using a service like Uscreen was mentioned. The thinking there is about like future-proofing and control. If you have your own platform, you're not totally reliant on YouTube's rules, their monetization requirements, potential policy shift that could suddenly cut your income.
You own the relationship with the audience more directly.
Exactly. You control the pricing, the features, how you market, how you manage memberships. You can sell your video content directly to your biggest fans without YouTube taking that cut or setting all the rules. Wow. Okay, that's a really broad spectrum of income streams. It's definitely not just about hitting monetize anymore. It's building a real business. Let's shift gears slightly. The sources also talk a lot about the mindset and connecting with the actual humans watching. It's not purely a numbers game, is it?
No, definitely not. And a key mindset thing the sources stress is don't wait until you think you've made it to start taking it seriously. If your goal is for this to be a proper side hustle or even full-time eventually, you need to start treating it that way now. Start building those skills, that discipline.
And in terms of the content itself, what makes it stand out when there's just so much out there?
High quality, relevant content is just, well, it's non-negotiable. Good visuals, clear audio, that stuff matters for production value. But the sources also warn against like over-editing.
So style shouldn't overshadow substance.
Right. Quality should support the message, not distract. And storytelling, that comes up again and again. Sharing your own challenges, the process behind the videos, maybe some heartwarming moments.
Yeah.
It creates an emotional connection. It makes you relatable, authentic.
Authenticity again.
Yeah.
Seems like a core theme. How else do you build that loyal audience?
Audience engagement, super important. The sources really hammer this home, responding to comments not just on videos, but on the community tab too. Using that community tab actively with polls, questions, behind the scenes pics, linking your socials. It makes viewers feel like they're part of something, you know?
Like a community, not just passive viewer.
Exactly. And all those interactions, they also feed back into the algorithm, signaling that your channel is active and engaging. The sources even talk about tactical re-engagement within the video. If you know from your analytics, people tend to drop off at, say, the 3-minute mark.
Yeah.
Think about why. Is it getting slow? Can you maybe tease something exciting coming up later in the video right before that point? Or insert a quick change of pace, keep them hooked.
That ties into another point I saw. Thinking like a viewer yourself. Stepping outside the creator role.
Yes, so important. Take off the creator hat sometimes. Watch stuff in your niche, or just videos you enjoy. Ask yourself why you keep watching. Is it their personality, the editing, the story, what makes you click and stay? You can learn so much for your own stuff that way.
What about setbacks? You know, you pour your heart into a video and it just tanks.
Yeah.
How do the sources suggest handling that?
Yeah, that happens to everyone. The key takeaway seems to be don't freak out about individual video performance too much. Views fluctuate. It's normal. The focus should be on the bigger picture, evolving, learning from the data, listening to audience feedback. Maybe a format you loved isn't working anymore, or a topic is just saturated. You also have to remember external factors play a role, big news events, holidays, even just supply and demand in your niche, which sometimes you can track with Google Trends.
And there's a really interesting point about not just automatically blaming the algorithm when views dip.
Yes, I thought that was insightful. The sources argue that just blaming the algorithm kind of takes away your own power, your agency as a creator. While the algorithm is obviously a huge factor, the focus should stay on what you can control. The topic choice, the title, the thumbnail, the quality of the content, and how well you connect with your audience.
Okay, this is clearly a lot to juggle. Researching, filming, editing, SEO, analytics, community. It's a full-time job, or more. Did the sources mention tools that can help manage all this?
They definitely did. Tools and even AI are becoming pretty essential for efficiency. For keyword research, things like keywordtool.io or vidIQ were mentioned again. They help find those searchable topics, maybe spot keywords you can actually compete for. And AI is popping up more for the early stages. AI title generators, Gravity Write, Hootsuite came up, can spit out tons of ideas fast.
Helps break writer's block on title.
Exactly, gets you past that first idea. But the sources always add the caveat. AI brainstorms, you refine, needs that human touch to really work.
What about AI for the content itself, scripts or video?
AI script generators like ChatGPT were mentioned, maybe more for outlining or brainstorming points. And AI video generators like Synthesia came up in one source, but maybe more for specific uses like explainers, perhaps less for typical personality-driven channels right now. For just managing the workflow, project management tools are a good shout. ClickUp was an example given, helps track tasks, deadlines, collaboration if you have a team, plan your content calendar.
Keeps everything organized.
Yeah. And then analytics tools beyond just the basic YouTube studio. Sources mention things like Brand24, vidIQ again, Fourth Wall, tools that let you dig deeper into views, retention, impressions, engagement patterns. Oh, and for production value, royalty-free music sources like Hook sounds were highlighted. Super important for sounding professional and avoiding copyright strikes that can kill your monetization.
Wow, okay. We have really covered a ton in this deep dive. We kicked off with understanding the YouTube algorithm isn't just pushing, it's pulling content at things viewers will engage with. Then we looked at the metrics that matter, watch time, CTR, engagement, and how things like SEO, good titles, great thumbnails, and mixing shorts with long-form video help you get discovered.
And then we went really deep into monetization. It's so much more than ads now, isn't it? We covered the YBP, fan funding like memberships and super thanks, YouTube shopping, brand connect, all the way to affiliate marketing, selling your own merch, and even, like you said, building your own platform completely separate from YouTube for maximum control.
Plus, we didn't forget the human element. That creator mindset, taking it seriously, focusing on quality and authentic storytelling, engaging with your community, and learning from data instead of just blaming setbacks on the algorithm.
Yeah, what really comes through from all these sources is that success on YouTube in 2025, it's not just one thing. There's no single trick. It seems to be this combination of like strategic effort on multiple fronts, really understanding your analytics, using the right tools to help, and maybe most importantly, building that genuine connection with the people watching.
So considering all these different avenues we've talked about, optimizing for the algorithm, yes, but also fan funding, selling products, maybe even building your own thing off-platform. Here's something to think about. What untapped potential lies within your own unique skills, your passions, your interests? What could you build into a profitable, engaging YouTube channel in today's landscape? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep today into, well, the complex, ever-evolving world of YouTube. How do you actually succeed on this platform in 2025?
Yeah, it's a big question.
How do you get eyes on your videos, keep people watching, and maybe, just maybe, build a sustainable income stream from it all?
That's exactly what we're tackling. We've pulled together quite a stack of source material for this. Deep dive articles, recent research, notes, even transcripts from creator talks.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah, tons. All giving us these data-driven insights and hopefully some actionable strategies for what's working on YouTube right now and looking ahead into next year.
So our mission is clear. We're sifting through this mountain of info to pull out the most valuable, maybe surprising, and definitely actionable nuggets. We want to give you, the listener, a shortcut, a way to get informed about YouTube success without, drowning in all the details, finding those aha moments.
Think of us as your guides, I suppose, highlighting what the sources consistently say are the key drivers, the things that matter for growth and making money on the platform as it stands today.
All right, let's jump right in then, because look, you can make the most amazing video ever, but if nobody clicks on it, Well, doesn't really matter, does it?
Doesn't matter at all. So, according to our sources, yeah, the absolute first battleground is capturing attention. It all starts fundamentally with your title and your thumbnail.
Your shop window, basically.
These are your video's first impression, period. The sources are like unanimous on this.
Yeah.
A great title and thumbnail combo. It's non-negotiable.
Okay, so what makes a title great then? The sources say it's got to do a few things at once.
Exactly. It's multifaceted. It needs to hint accurately at the content, obviously, include keywords so people and the algorithm can find it, and spark curiosity all within a pretty limited space.
Right, it's got this dual job, hasn't it? Appealing to the YouTube algorithm and to the actual human brain scrolling through endless feeds.
That's the balancing act.
So what specific title strategies did the sources highlight? Any concrete tips?
Several came up repeatedly. One foundational one is using your main keyword right near the front.
Okay.
So if your video is about, say, healthy breakfast ideas, starting with healthy breakfast recipes makes immediate sense. It tells YouTube, tells the viewer, boom, this is what it is.
Better than burying it.
Way better than like, my morning routine feed, some breakfast stuff. No, be clear. Healthy breakfast recipes, 5 quick ideas, something like that.
Simple.
Yeah.
And beyond just keywords, they talked about grabbing emotion or curiosity, making people feel something.
Exactly. Evoking emotion or creating a bit of intrigue. Using, compelling adjectives, amazing, unbelievable, though use those sparingly maybe, or hinting at a surprising result. Phrasing it as a question the video answers works well too.
And lists. People love lists.
Oh yeah, the sources definitely point out that adding numbers or framing as a list, 7 hacks for, is incredibly effective. It signals structure, makes it feel digestible.
It's funny how simple formatting makes such a psychological difference. But how long should these titles actually be? Is there a sweet spot?
There seems to be, yeah. According to the data presented in the sources, it looks like around 60 to 70 characters is the sweet spot.
Which is like, what, 6 to 10 words?
Roughly, yeah. YouTube allows up to 100 characters, but the thing is, anything longer often just gets truncated, cut off, especially on mobile screens. And that's where a huge chunk of views come from now.
So clarity and impact right up front. Keep it punchy.
Punchy and clear.
Okay, so you need a great idea, the right keywords, brevity, maybe some emotion that feels like a lot to juggle for just a few words. Did the sources offer any tools or processes to help brainstorm these things?
They did, actually. Several sources mentioned leveraging AI tools, not necessarily to just, auto-generate the perfect title and run with it.
Right, not just copy-paste.
No, more as a brainstorming partner. You feed it your topic, your keywords, and it can spit out dozens of variations really quickly. The crucial step, though, the sources emphasize, is applying that human judgment. Polish it. Does it sound natural? Does it fit your voice? Is it compelling?
So AI as an assistant, not the final decision maker. I like that. And what about learning from what's already working out there? Market research, basically.
Absolutely essential. Studying successful titles and thumbnails in your specific niche is presented not as, outright copying.
No, don't be a clone.
Right, but as vital market research. Look for patterns. What kind of language are the top creators using? Are they asking questions, using list formats, making bold claims? Are there certain phrases like beginner's guide or deep dive that seem to resonate?
You could almost map it out.
You could. The notes even suggested AI could potentially help analyze trends across a bunch of successful titles in a niche. It's about understanding what your potential viewers are already clicking on. Without just mimicking someone else so closely, you lose your own identity.
Okay, here's something really interesting. The sources flag the curiosity gap. Explain that tactic.
Ah, yes. The classic. Titles like, I tried waking up at 5 a.m. for 30 days. Here's what happened. Or, the secret ingredient nobody tells you about.
Right, tease you.
They give you just enough information to keep your interest. Create a little mystery, a question in your head. But you have to click the video to get the payoff, the answer.
It taps into that basic human need to know, doesn't it? Close the loop.
Precisely. But, and this is but the sources strongly caution about, you absolutely must deliver on that promise within the video.
Ah, the clickbait danger.
Exactly. Deceptive titles, misleading thumbnails. Sure, they might get you that initial click,
Yeah.
but if the viewer feels cheated, they're gone in seconds. That kills your watch time, tanks your audience retention, and tells the algorithm your video isn't satisfying viewers. It damages trust long term.
So authenticity, even when using a curiosity hook, is key for sustainable growth.
Paramount. Build trust, don't break it for a cheap click.
Okay, titles are vital. Handled that. But the visual partner, the thumbnail, arguably just as crucial for grabbing that initial click. What did the sources say makes a thumbnail work?
The research seems clear. Thumbnails are huge drivers of clicks, right alongside the titles. They need to be visually arresting, communicate the video's core idea almost instantly.
So design tips, what came up?
Key things extracted from the sources included designing specifically for your audience. So maybe using familiar faces or references for your subscribers versus using more universal emotions like shock or excitement to grab casual viewers.
And basic design principles, like composition, rule of thirds, stuff like that.
Yep, using good composition helps guide the eye. Overlaying your branding consistently is good, and text is often crucial.
What readable text?
Critically important. The sources really stress that any text on the thumbnail must be big, bold, and super easy to read, even when it's shrunk down to a tiny square on a phone screen. You have milliseconds to communicate.
Makes sense. What about things like color and making it pop?
Dynamic color palettes, strong contrast, they help you stand out from, the sea of other thumbnails and the white background of YouTube. But also, avoid clutter. Simplicity and focus often win. Make the main subject a face, an object, whatever is large and clear as possible.
Faces work well, right? Especially with emotion.
Consistently perform well in the data mentioned, yeah. Faces showing clear emotion grab attention, and techniques like shallow depth of fields, using negative space.
Yeah.
Anything that makes your key subject really pop out.
Draws the eye right to it.
Exactly, creates focus. The sources also encourage creators to keep an eye on visual trends in their niche. What are other successful channels doing? And don't be afraid to experiment.
Experimentation is key. I heard some sources even suggested going back and updating old thumbnails.
Yeah, if you have older videos with maybe less than stellar thumbnails that are still getting some traffic, why not try updating the thumbnail? See if you can boost the CTR, give it a new lease on life.
Okay, perfect segue. CTR, impressions click-through rate. This is where the title and thumbnail really meet the data. Explain what the sources say about this metric.
CTR is simply the percentage of people who saw your video's impression, the thumbnail and title showing up in their feed or search results, and then actually click to watch. And YouTube weighs this heavily.
So a high CTR is good. Tells YouTube people want to see this.
Exactly. Now, what's good? The research indicated that, for many channels, a typical CTR might be somewhere in the 4 to 5% range. But honestly, it varies wildly by niche, by traffic source, by whether it's shown to subscribers or new viewers.
Subscribers probably click more often.
Usually much higher, yeah. But the key signal, the sources say, is a notable drop below your channel's average CTR. That's the platform's data telling you, hey, this title-thumbnail combo isn't grabbing people like your others do.
So if your CTR tanks, the sources suggest tweaking the title or thumbnail.
Precisely. That's the first step. And a more advanced strategy that came up is A/B testing.
Even after the video's live.
Yeah. Some creators will publish a video, monitor the initial CTR for, say, 24 or 48 hours. If it's lower than expected, they'll whip up a completely new thumbnail, maybe tweak the title slightly, swap them out, and see if the CTR improves. It's a really data-driven way to optimize that crucial first impression.
Okay, great stuff. So you've nailed the title, you've got a killer thumbnail, someone clicks, fantastic. But the job's not done. What happens next? Keeping them hooked, that's the next big challenge.
Yeah, exactly. You got the click, now you got to earn the watch.
Yeah.
This brings us squarely into watch time and audience retention. And the sources underline that these metrics are arguably the most critical signals you send to the YouTube algorithm about the quality and the engagement level of your actual content.
Right. It's not just about racking up total watch hours for monetization, although that's important too. It's more about how much of each individual video are people watching, that retention rate.
Right.
And the average time they spend watching, the average view duration.
That's the core of it. Higher retention, longer average view duration signals to YouTube, hey, people finding this valuable, they're sticking around. And that makes YouTube more likely to recommend it to others.
So the advice is always make a better videos, but that's a bit vague. Did the sources get more specific on how to improve watch time and retention?
They did. And top of the list consistently was create truly engaging intros. That first few seconds is make or break.
A few seconds are we talking?
Tiny window. Usually the first 5 to 10 seconds, someone just clicked based on your promised title and thumbnail. Now you have to immediately hook them and convince them to stay for the journey.
So avoid those long rambling intros or the immediate, hey guys, subscribe, please.
Definitely avoid those. The sources suggest starting strong. Hit them with a compelling question, a surprising statistic, a really quick, punchy preview of the coolest thing that happens later in the video, something to grab them immediately.
And confirm they're in the right place.
Yes. Within those first few sentences, Clearly state what the video is about. Reiterate the promise from the title and thumbnail. Make the viewer think, okay, yep, this is what I clicked for, and it looks like it's going to be good. I'll stick around. Show, don't just tell, why your video on this topic is the one they should watch.
What about like production stuff? Music, visuals?
Using appropriate, good quality, and crucially, royalty-free music was mentioned quite a bit.
Right, avoid those copyright strikes.
Absolutely. They can kill your monetization or even get your video taken down. Good music sets the tone, helps with pacing, and the sources also pointed to the power of storytelling, even in unexpected niches. Weaving a narrative, building suspense, creating a sense of journey. People respond to stories.
That makes sense. And what about the type of content? Anything stand out for building watch time long term?
Evergreen tutorials were highlighted as particularly strong for this.
Content that stays relevant.
Exactly. Videos that teach a skill, explain a concept, solve a problem that people will be searching for months or even years from now. That kind of content can become a steady source of views and watch hours, building a really solid foundation for the channel.
Okay, but the single most important strategy for improving retention, according to the sources.
Dive deep into your audience retention graphs in YouTube analytics, no question.
Yeah, the squiggly line graph. Brutal honesty time.
It really is. But it's invaluable. It shows you second by second where viewers are clicking away. Maybe your intro was too long. Maybe that middle section dragged. You see the dips.
But you also see the spikes.
Exactly. You see where people rewind and rewatch a certain part. That tells you something really resonated there. Or maybe it was complex and needed repeating. Analyzing those dips and spikes is gold for understanding what works and what doesn't in your content so you can adjust for future videos.
So it's not just about watch time in general, but also these other engagement signals, likes, comments, shares. The sources said the algorithm cares about those too.
It does. They signal resonance, interaction. YouTube sees that people aren't just passively watching, they're reacting, discussing, sharing it with others. That tells the algorithm that content is valuable and engaging, and it tends to reward that.
Okay, so how do you actually encourage that kind of engagement based on what the sources suggest?
Well, one key thing is to be engaged yourself. Actually respond to comments. Don't just let them sit there. Engage in conversations, not just on your videos, but use the community tab too. It builds that sense of, well, community. Makes people feel heard.
Loyalty.
For sure. And another simple thing, explicitly ask questions in your videos. Prompt people. What do you think about this? Let me know down below. Give them a reason to comment.
And maybe featuring viewer ideas.
That's a great one mentioned in the sources. If viewers suggest topics or ask questions, making a video specifically addressing those requests really shows you're listening and makes them feel like part of the channel's journey.
Authenticity came up again here, didn't it? Just being real.
It did, consistently. Being genuine in your content, in your interactions. It builds trust. And related to that, being flexible. Pay attention to the feedback, comments, analytics, and be willing to tweak your approach. Iterate on your content strategy based on what your audience is telling you works.
Right, it's a constant feedback loop. All this strategic thinking, the content creation, engaging with the audience. It really needs to be informed by data, doesn't it?
Right.
Which brings us nicely to understanding the YouTube algorithm and really getting to grips with analytics.
Yeah, absolutely. The picture painted by the sources for the algorithm in, say, 2025 isn't really about YouTube pushing out popular stuff broadly anymore. It's much more personalized. It acts like a sophisticated recommendation engine that pulls content specifically tailored to each individual viewer.
So it's looking at my specific watch history, the channels I follow, the topics I seem interested in, even things like what time I usually watch or what device I'm using.
Exactly. It's constantly trying to predict, based on everything we know about this viewer, what are they most likely to want to watch and enjoy right now. And an interesting tidbit from the sources is that YouTube is increasingly using advanced AI, like large language models, the tech behind things like ChatGPT, to get even better understanding the nuance of the content itself and viewer preferences.
Wow, so it's getting smarter at understanding what the video is actually about, not just keywords.
Potentially, yeah, for more subtle recommendations.
Okay, so with all that complexity humming away behind the scenes, how does a creator actually figure out what's going on with their channel?
This is where YouTube analytics becomes your best friend. Honestly, the sources universally hammered this point home. Analytics is the single most powerful tool you have as a creator. It's not just for vanity metrics like view counts. It's your window into your audience, into performance, into diagnosing problems and spotting opportunities. It's essential for a data-driven strategy.
So what kind of data are we talking about here? What's the really vital stuff in analytics?
Oh, there's a ton. Real-time views, sure. But more importantly, those audience retention deep dives we talked about, average view duration, the retention graph itself, demographics, who is your audience, age, gender, location, traffic sources, how are people finding you? Is it search, browse features, external sites, your CTR, obviously, subscriber gains and losses, likes, comments, shares, and if you're monetized, all your revenue data is in there too.
And you can slice and dice this data, like use specific features to answer specific questions. You mentioned checking CTR after changing a thumbnail.
Exactly, that's a direct use case. The sources also highlighted the relative audience retention feature. Sometimes it's called how your videos compare. This is super useful because it doesn't just show your retention curve, it benchmarks it against other YouTube videos of a similar length.
So you can see if your drop-off at 30 seconds is normal, or if you're losing people way faster than average for that kind of video length.
Precisely. It gives you crucial context.
Yeah.
Are you average, above, or below? Helps you diagnose if your pacing is off.
That's much more insightful than just looking at your own numbers in a vacuum. What about using analytics to find new video ideas?
The Research tab, or sometimes it's called the Inspiration tab, the name seems to shift a bit, was specifically called out in the sources. This part of analytics can show you what other videos and channels your specific audience is watching when they're not watching you.
Oh, interesting. So you can see overlaps or maybe gaps in what they're interested in?
Yeah. It can reveal related topics you haven't covered or show you competing channels you might want to analyze. It's great for finding potential blind spots or new content pillars, and supplementing that with something like Google Trends to check general search interest for those topics is also a good move.
And I think you mentioned a view that kind of bypasses the main algorithm.
Yeah, the subscription feed view. Basically looking at how your videos perform just among your subscribers when they see it chronologically in their subs feed. The sources suggested this gives you a purer apples-to-apples look at how compelling your core package, the title, thumbnail, topic, and maybe the intro is to your most loyal viewers, without the algorithm pushing it or holding it back.
So it tests the fundamental appeal of your content to your base.
Kind of, yeah. If your own subs aren't even clicking in that feed, maybe the topic or packaging is off, regardless of the algorithm.
That's a really smart way to use it. It sounds like you genuinely need to schedule time, like block it out in your calendar, just to dig into analytics regularly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The sources stress this. Even if you're a smaller channel and some of the more advanced features haven't populated with enough data yet, understanding your basic retention, where viewers come from and who they are is non-negotiable for growth. Make it a habit.
Okay, so for many creators, doing all this work, the content, the engagement, digging into the data, it's often building towards a particular goal. Monetization, making money. How did the sources break down the different ways you can actually earn an income on YouTube in 2025?
Well, the consistent message coming through was that ad revenue, while it's the most obvious one, is really just one piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Sustainable income often comes from mixing multiple strategies together.
Right, diversifying.
Exactly. And the main gateway to unlock a lot of YouTube's own monetization tools is the YouTube Partner Program, the YPP.
Okay, and what are the keys to get into the YPP now? What did the sources say about eligibility?
For the standard YPP access, the one that lets you run ads and use most features, the requirements are 1,000 subscribers plus 4,000 valid public watch hours within the last 12 months. You also need at least 3 valid public uploads in the last 90 days.
And there's another path now, too.
Yes. The sources highlighted a slightly different threshold, specifically for getting access to fan funding features, only things like Super Chat and memberships. For that, it's still 1,000 subscribers, but then it's either 3,000 valid public watch hours in the last 12 months, or, interestingly, 3 million valid public shorts views in the last 90 days.
So Shorts performance can get you access to some monetization features now, even if your long-form watch time isn't quite there yet.
Seems that way, yeah. It's an alternative path for certain features. And of course, for any path, your channel has to be reviewed and comply with all of YouTube's policies.
Okay, so you get into the YPP. What streams of income does that actually unlock? Let's start with big one, ads.
Right, ad revenue. This comes from display ads, overlay ads, skippable video ads shown before, during, or after your videos. For standard long-form videos, the deal generally is YouTube shares 55% of that ad revenue with the creator.
And for Shorts, it's different, right?
Yeah, Shorts ads work on a pool system. Revenue from ads shown between shorts in the feed gets pulled together. Then that pool is allocated to monetizing creators based on their share of total shorts views. From their allocated share, the creator keeps 45%.
A bit more complicated. And you need AdSense set up.
Yep, gotta have a correctly linked AdSense account, provide tax info, verify your address, usually meet a payment threshold like $100 before they pay out. And importantly, the sources mentioned adhering to the ad-friendly guidelines.
Hey!
Meaning like avoiding excessive profanity, especially early in the video, steering clear of super controversial or sensitive topics if you want the widest range of advertisers and thus potentially higher ad revenue.
Got it. Okay, beyond ads, what else is in the YPP toolkit for making money?
Channel memberships came up a lot. This lets you offer exclusive perks to viewers who pay a monthly fee. You set the price tiers. Perks could be loyalty badges next to their name and comments, custom emojis, members-only posts, videos, or even live streams.
And YouTube takes a cut.
Yeah, YouTube typically takes 30% of the membership revenue. But the sources noted this is a great way to build predictable, recurring income and really foster a strong community feel.
What about selling stuff? YouTube shopping.
That allows eligible channels, usually need more subs, like 10K for the merch shelf, to link their own merchandise stores, using supported platforms, directly on their channel page via a merchandise shelf. Or you can tag products from other brands within your videos, shorts, and live streams through YouTube's own affiliate program.
So people can buy directly from watching the video.
Exactly. Makes it seamless.
And those one-off payments people sometimes make during streams or on videos.
That's fan funding. During live streams and premieres, it's Super Chat and Super Stickers viewers pay to have their comment highlighted or send an animated sticker. On regular video uploads, it's Super Channels. Thanks viewers can pay to leave a special highlighted comment.
Again, YouTube takes a cut.
Usually a significant one, yeah. Around 30% or sometimes more depending on platform fees and taxes. But it's direct appreciation from viewers.
Any other perks of being in the YPP the sources mentioned?
Access to the creator support team was highlighted as valuable, getting one-on-one help via email or chat for issues. And the copyright match tool, which automatically scans YouTube for re-uploads of your content, can be useful for protecting your work.
Okay, so that covers the official YouTube monetization routes within the YPP. But the sources definitely spent time on ways to make money outside that structure too. And this is where things can get potentially even more profitable, right?
Potentially, yes. Sponsored content or brand collaborations, brand deals, was a major focus in the sources. This is where a brand pays you directly, usually a flat fee, to promote their product or service in one of your videos.
And this isn't just for massive channels.
Not at all. The sources made a point that even channels with smaller but highly engaged niche audiences can land really good brand deals. Why? Because they offer brands access to a very specific, very targeted group of potential customers.
So what does it take to actually succeed with sponsorships, according to the source materials?
Several things. You need a clear brand identity and define niche yourself. You need to know your analytics inside out, who your audience is, how engaged they are, where they come from, so you can present that to brands. Your content quality needs to be high and align with the types of brands you want to work with.
And you have to be proactive.
Often, yes. Reaching out to relevant brands directly, having a professional media kit ready to send that showcases your channel stats and value proposition. Using online creator marketplaces can help connect you too. And building relationships, either with brands directly or with marketing agencies.
And authenticity and disclosure are huge here.
Absolutely critical. The sources stress this. You must clearly disclose when content is sponsored, using #ad or includes paid promotion. It's usually legally required, but it's also vital for maintaining trust with your audience. They need to know when you're being paid to promote something.
Did the sources give any clues about how much these deals pay? What affects the rate?
It's highly variable, they noted. Depends heavily on your niche, some are more lucrative than others, your audience size, and, crucially, engagement rate, and also the type of integration the brand wants.
Like a quick mention versus a whole dedicated video.
Exactly. A dedicated video is usually most expensive. A short pre-roll ad mention right at the start is often quite valuable because it gets seen by almost everyone who clicks. Integrated segments within the video, product placements, they all have different price points.
Okay, sponsorships are one big avenue. Affiliate marketing was another one mentioned outside the YPP structure.
Correct. This is promoting other companies' products or services using unique tracking links, usually placed in your video description or pinned comment. When a viewer clicks your specific link, and then makes a purchase, you earn a commission from that sale.
So it's performance-based.
Totally. Common platforms mentioned were things like Amazon Associates, Rakuten Advertising, CJ Affiliate. Your ability to actually convert viewers into buyers matters more than just raw views here.
What kind of channels does this work best for?
It works particularly well, the sources suggest, for channels focused on products, tech reviews, beauty tutorials, cooking channels, recommending ingredients or equipment, book reviews, etc. Anywhere you can naturally recommend relevant products.
And again, authenticity.
Paramount. Only recommend products you genuinely use, believe in, or have thoroughly researched. Your audience's trust in your recommendations is your currency here. Lose that, and the affiliate income dries up fast.
Makes sense. And the final major category the sources discussed was selling your own stuff, your own products or services.
Yes, this could be anything from selling your own branded merchandise, maybe even beyond what the YPP shelf offers, to digital products like ebooks, guides, templates, presets, or even offering online courses, coaching, or access to exclusive communities.
And the sources mentioned specific platforms for this, like Uscreen.
Yeah, Uscreen was brought up as an example of a platform that allows creators to build their own branded video streaming service or membership site, totally separate from YouTube.
Why is that significant? Why build something separate?
Because, as the sources highlighted, it gives the creator direct control. Control over the monetization, no revenue share with YouTube, control over the user experience, direct access to their audience data, emails, and freedom from YouTube's algorithm or policy changes potentially affecting their income.
So you could have the successful YouTube channel driving traffic, but the main monetization happens on your own platform.
Exactly. One anecdote described a creator making okay money from YouTube ads, but then launching their own premium course community on a platform like Uscreen and multiplying their income significantly because they kept almost all the revenue directly from their dedicated members.
That's a powerful strategy, using YouTube for top-of-funnel discovery and community, but having your core business elsewhere.
It really shows how YouTube can be part of a broader ecosystem for creators, not necessarily the be-all and end-all for income. It's a fantastic engine for reach, but maybe not always the most efficient for direct high-ticket monetization.
Okay, wow. We have covered a ton of ground, from getting that first click to keeping people glued, understanding the data, exploring all these different money-making avenues. Let's try and pull together some of the big overarching growth strategies that kept popping up across all the sources.
Yeah, distilling it down, it really seems to boil down to those core pillars we've touched on repeatedly. 1, consistently creating genuinely good content that resonates with a specific audience. 2, deeply understanding that audience, primarily through analytics. 3, consistency in publishing. 4, strategically using shorts. 5, leveraging playlists effectively. And 6, mastering the fundamentals of YouTube SEO.
Consistency felt like a huge recurring theme, didn't it?
Absolutely. Not necessarily meaning you have to upload daily or even weekly, but having a predictable, sustainable schedule that delivers quality. It signals reliability to your audience, and it feeds the algorithm fresh content regularly. And the sources noted shorts can really help here. They're often lower effort to produce than long-form videos, so they can be a good way to maintain presence, stay visible, experiment with ideas, and potentially funnel viewers over to your longer content via pinned comments or calls to action within the short itself.
And good old YouTube, SEO, search engine optimization. Still vital, even with the recommendation engine being so powerful.
Definitely still vital, the sources confirmed, especially for discoverability by new audiences actively searching for topics. So that strategic keyword placement is key in the title, especially near the start. In the first few lines of your description, use related terms, long-tail keywords. In your tags, though maybe less critical than they once were, still worth doing. Even your video file name before uploading, your channel description, and using maybe 3 relevant hashtags in the description too.
And you mentioned even saying the keywords in the video helps.
Yeah, the sources suggested that because YouTube auto-transcribes videos, verbally mentioning your core keywords can help the system better understand your content's topic for both search and recommendation.
Clever. Playlists came up too. They seem simple, but the sources suggested they're powerful.
Highly underrated, it seems. Grouping your related videos into logical playlists does one simple but powerful thing. It encourages binge watching. It keeps viewers on your channel longer, watching more of your content back to back. That boosts your session watch time, which is a great signal to YouTube.
So organize your content and make those playlists discoverable.
Yep. Give the playlists themselves keyword-rich titles and descriptions. Feature your key playlists prominently on your channel's homepage layout. Make it easy for viewers to go down a rabbit hole of your content on a topic they care about.
Okay, what about a final piece of overarching advice? Something the source has consistently offered for long-term sustainable growth.
I think the big one was, always be a student of the platform. Never stop learning. Watch other creators constantly, not just the ones in your exact niche. Look outside too. What can you learn about editing from a gaming channel? Storytelling from a documentary channel? Thumbnail design from a beauty vlogger?
Cross-pollinate ideas.
Exactly. And use those comparison features and analytics we talked about. See how your retention stacks up. Analyze why other videos might be performing better. Stay curious.
And understand that growth isn't always linear, right? There will be ups and downs.
Precisely. The sources made sure to note that external factors, seasonal trends and topics, algorithm updates, even just how much competition there is for viewer attention in your niche at any given time, like supply and demand, all these things can impact how any single video performs. The key is to focus on the process. Keep learning, keep experimenting, keep refining based on data and feedback, and don't get too discouraged by the inevitable fluctuations.
So we've taken this pretty deep dive into the source materials, really unpacking how to get those clicks with titles and thumbnails, how to keep viewers watching with engaging content that's informed by analytics, and navigating the, frankly, kind of bewildering array of monetization options both on and off YouTube.
It is a lot to take in, no doubt. But I think the core message threading through all the sources is that while it's complex, focusing on those fundamentals audience, content quality, data consistency, and utilizing the tools YouTube gives you, plus being adaptable, well, that significantly improves your odds of connecting with an audience and achieving whatever your goals are.
It's definitely a platform with incredible potential still. For reach, for building community, and yeah, for potentially generating significant income if you approach it strategically.
Which maybe leads to a final thought to leave people with.
Yeah.
Given how much data is available now and how many different paths there are to potentially build an income, what does success on YouTube actually mean for you, the person listening right now? Is it purely about hitting millions of views? Is it about building a smaller but deeply connected niche community? Is it about creating a sustainable income stream that gives you freedom? Or is it something else entirely?
That's a really good question to ponder.
And maybe thinking about that, defining your personal version of success, how might that clarity actually shape the very next step you take? The thing you decide to focus on today or tomorrow as you work on your channel.